Hey folks, Evil Pajamas here with another Civilization 6 video. It's November 2020 and the Heroes and Legends update recently released. In this video, I am going to be showing an awesome map seed. And if you're not familiar with map seeds, they're not custom maps. They're just a random map you could have gotten, but you could have recorded the map seed if you did so at the beginning of the game, and which I did for this one, and I'm glad I did because it's an awesome map seed. I'm going to share it below in the details. While you're down there, if you'd like to see more content like this, please do consider hitting like and subscribe. And also, I'd love to hear from anybody that tried it out, what civ they used, what victory condition they used, and how many turns it took them, and on what difficulty, because it is a super fun and awesome map seed. Initially, when I had played this through, I was going to be like, oh, you can't lose with this. You're just absolutely going to roll the DDAI, crush them immediately. That isn't exactly what happened. I did okay. It's more of an illustration of how you can even screw up a really awesome start, but nonetheless, this is an awesome start. You're going to want to keep in mind that there is starting biases for each of the civilizations, so not necessarily every civilization is going to get this starting spot. So you might be out of luck with certain civilizations. However, there isn't that many particular start biases, so I found at least 4 or 5 that this works for, and I'm sure there's quite a bit more. I'm going to be going ahead and playing with Korea. So you can set it on any difficulty you want, it doesn't matter. I play on deity. Leave it on continents. I select secret societies and heroes and legends. I leave all the defaults the same. And then give me 1 second to grab this map seed, and we will load it up in a moment here. So the reason this map seed is so insane is because if with certain civilizations you start within walking distance of an insanely broken OP wonder. So loading it up here, and we will be back in a moment. All right, so here we are, and we are going to be playing for Korea. And the reason I wanted to try this out is because the governors have 3% culture and science for each promotion they've earned, and I'm going to try and get early governor in by this title and stack him with a lot of titles. I forget his Pinchala, which isn't normally what I would pick first, but I think in this case that it might be a little fun thing to do. Also, I don't know whoever drew this, but I happen to be Korean, and people don't actually have these creases above their eyes if they're Korean, just unless they have like cosmetic surgery. So unless they had that back then, I don't think that is actually accurate. I could be completely wrong. Maybe there's a bunch of Koreans that have that above their eyes, but in my experience, that's not the case. So, but it could be. Maybe that's why she's the queen. So here we go. So this is where you will start if you select this map seed. I use the same number for the map seed and the game seed. And I was just blown away when I actually had never seen this particular wonder before. It came out during the Mayan and Grand Columbia pack. So I will go down here. There's turn 1. Here's turn 2. Now there's a big tip off that there's something pretty suspicious about this tile here. I'm just like, what? When I first ran across this, I was like, that seems really odd. So there was the first big clue that something pretty significant was nearby this area. So then we'll move one more tile over here as soon as I hit next turn. And here we are, the I can't pronounce it with those accent marks, the Paititi, but it is absolutely sick. So it's a 3 tile impassable wonder that gives a bonus to the adjacent tiles of 2 gold, 3 gold, I'm sorry, and 2 culture. And if you're not familiar with how these types of wonders work, if they are adjacent to more than one tile, if one hex is adjacent to more than one tile of the wonder, it will stack those bonuses. So you can see that these are just some ridiculous tiles here. So it tells me I should settle here because I get both of these, but I want to start by the fresh water source personally, so I'm going to forego settling on top of the spot so that I get the fresh water. I'm not actually sure if this is the best decision or not. I haven't really tested it because obviously I would get the bonus if I just started on that spot, which is pretty significant. So I think that that's actually probably a mistake. I'll probably have to test that out at some point. So that's where I'm going to start. And if you're playing on this map, I'm familiar with the map, so I'm just gonna go to what the best spots are because I'm just trying to see, how OP I can be with this particular setup. So I'm not gonna rush astrology because there's no really reason to on Korea. I probably want to get some defenses up because I know that there's some nearby civs and they can be sort of aggressive. Let me make sure we're on deity. We are on deity. Okay. So that's where we are, and I'm going to start with so I'd like to start with a builder if I could, but I'm not going to. I'm going to try and get some defense up, and then I'm going to go ahead and use my first title appointment, which is sort of weird. This is what I used to do when I first started playing, but I think this is clearly not normally what you would want to do. But because I have such a good starting spot, I think that it would actually be favorable to do this. So I'm going to come down here and I'm going to meet the Akkad city-state here. They don't have anything great in the way of bonuses, but let me go ahead and get one more title here from the Secret Societies unlock. Then I'm going to head back up this way. So I know that there's two nearby city-states on this particular map, so I'm going to go ahead and grab them, the meeting on them, so I can start getting the bonuses. So you can see it's turn 7. I finished Code of Laws because I have this insane output already here where, well, actually, I'm not even working that tile right now. Actually, this is the good tile. My bad. You just can't see it. It's there. There's the rest of it. So I'm going to go ahead and go with foreign trade here through the trade routes, and nothing too exciting, but I'm going to do that so I can go along this route here, and probably actually I will probably skip ahead farther on civics because I'm generating, not skip, but essentially I will try and rush down the more expensive ones. So let me go ahead and slot this. And I'm not going to slot God King because I think I can put down a holy site fairly early, having already gotten the boost for it. So that's why I'm not, normally I get God King to try and get the Pantheon early, but I'm not going to do that this time. So let me come up here. There's an industrial city state up here that I can meet and should likely get the first meeting on. So I've got one defender here up in place because the AI can get a bit aggressive on deity, and I'm going to go ahead and start building this other settler right away to try and get the other side of this secured from other civilizations that would obviously want to settle this spot. So we are going to, yeah, I already selected that. I don't know why I'm looking at that. I already know what I'm selecting. All right. So that's where we are, and come out this way. And there's a scout. So we're on turn 9 right now. Alright, so there's Buenos Aires. Hola, or is that not the right word? I don't know. No offense to any Spanish-speaking viewers. I'm really terrible at Spanish. My wife says I would have a speech impediment if I was in a Spanish-speaking country. So there's where we are. We've got a little tribal village there. So I'll cut out here on turn 10, and we'll pick back up in a little bit, so you're not having to watch this entire playthrough. But as you can see, this spot is ridiculous. So we're a couple turns later, and I have met the Mayans. Normally, I'm all good with like exchanging ideas because they're pretty close here anyway, or exchanging capital information. But I'm not going to do that because I don't want them to get all jelly over my awesome spot here and come over here and invade me. So I'm going to force them to take the extra couple of turns to find it in case that buys me some additional time, possibly. So, as you can see, I'm trying to bait this spearman out here. I got hit pretty hard, but he'd actually kill me in 2 rounds if I didn't, because I was in a bad spot there. There's no good cover to bait him out in, so that wasn't entirely optimal there to get hit for that much. So here we are. We've got 8 more turns till our settler. We're on turn 13 right now, and we've finished here, and I'm going to early empire here and archery here for the early defense. So we'll pick back up here shortly. So a couple turns later, and apparently my positioning was really, really bad, and I lost that. I lost my slinger, which was obviously like a huge waste of like 7 turns. So that doesn't help. But I got the Mayan Twins hero on this particular tribal village discovery, so that helps quite a bit. And not going to. So I'm not going to do another assignment here, despite Korea's ability, because I just want to save that title. So we got the boost for archery there, so that helps. 7 more turns till we get down the second settler. So there we are on turn 14. So we're on turn 20 here, and I've wandered down here with my warrior to sort of keep an eye on what the Mayans are doing. So luckily they are just not gathering a bunch of troops around, signaling that they're going to launch a surprise war. I've got my settler heading over here. I'm going to settle next to this fresh water source so that I don't need to build a granary right away. And the reason I'm building a monument, despite the fact that I have all of these culture tiles, is I want to get the Mayan Twins hero out early in case I want to play an aggressive early game and just sort of rely on these tiles to carry me through on advancement. So that's where we're at there. We're on turn 21, and we will pick up shortly. So we're on turn 22, and well, actually, I'm within the borders, so I couldn't do this. If I was right here, it'd be very tempting to just go ahead and declare war on the Mayans here. You might have noticed that I normally send a delegation on Deity to keep up relations, but I'm expecting on this game that I might get aggressive with them, so I am not doing that here. So that's where we're at on turn 22 and getting ready to settle by this fresh water source. So we're on turn 23, and this is really too tempting because even though I only have 1 warrior and no army, I am going to go ahead and take this free builder here. It's just too tempting. I have to do it. So hopefully I can run out of here with this builder, and it won't be. We'll see. We'll see what happens because they obviously are going to have much better army than me. They start with 5 warrior units on Deity. So we'll pick back up here on turn 23, and we will take a look at how bad this decision may or may not have been. So we're on turn 29, and conveniently, the scout has run up here right as I finished summoning the Mayan Twins here. So I'm going to get a free scout out of that. And still building very slowly here. Let's see what we need to build here. So we're at war now, so possibly another archer here, but I think I can just get 3 units using the Mayan Twins here. So I'll probably try and build my holy site here so that I can start getting religion points. So I don't want to build over these because then I will erase my awesome bonuses from these tiles here. So what I will probably do is if I come... So we have to remember the Korean science building has to be built on a hills. So keeping that in mind, is there a spot that we can get? It doesn't look like there's a good spot to build a science district from here and here. So it looks like we might only be able to get one on our capital here. So I hate to spend 95 or 65 gold here, but we're going to go ahead and do that. I think it looks like. So let's go ahead and do that. We'll spend 65, and we'll start building our holy site district there slowly, and then we'll start working on state workforce. So that is where we're at on turn 29. We will be back shortly. So we're on turn 32, and we've grabbed the Spearman with the Mayan Twins with the assistance from Akkad. Thankfully, they didn't chaos us, and we've unlocked Sanguine Pack. So since we're playing aggressive, I'm going to go ahead and appoint that and get the Vampires. So I think we are off to a very strong, aggressive start. This actually was not what I was planning at all, but hey, you just take what falls into your lap there. So that's, true at the strip club and with Civilization 6. So not really, I don't mean that, but anyway, continuing on. So we're on turn 34, and one thing I noticed here is I messed up a little bit. So you can see I swapped it over now to this city, but before I only have 3 workers here. So, and I controlled all 4 of these tiles. So as soon as this tile became available to this city, I should have swapped it. So I've done that now. Went ahead and built a quarry here, so probably working, yep, those 2 tiles. And we are bringing our army over here. So they don't have walls yet, so the vampires should really hammer that, and we should be able to take that, I think. So working on military tradition, you want to get that if you're doing early aggression because you get the flanking and support bonuses. So turn 34, that's where we are at, and we'll pick back up here shortly. We are on turn 40, and they got up their special archer unique unit, so I had to fall back a little bit here. Fortunately, I did not lose my Mayan Twins hero. And somehow, with this gigantic income, I've been reported by my advisor that I am bankrupt. But that shouldn't be a permanent condition, so we'll get the money printer back online with we're J Powell. So, alright, so continuing on turn 40. And we're back on turn 43. The scout is about to get his ass kicked here, but we know where the big lodging of their troops is, so he has done his job. And he was free anyway from the Mayan Twins. So we've cleared out this barb camp. We just finished bronze working. We are working on iron working, and we're working on healing up our army. So that's where we are on turn 43. We are on turn 47. We have hit a golden age here, and I think what we're going to do probably actually is I want to speed up the pace at which we get our religion, so that seems sort of weird, but I want the bonuses, so we're going to go ahead and take Exodus of the Evangelists, and because I don't have a lot of faith to spend, and I'm not having any trouble needing these additional boosts anyway, so we're going to take that, and then we are going to finish off ironworking. So I swapped to sailing because I wanted to buy myself a little extra turn to get the boost on building this iron mine. So that's where we are at there. But our military here has stalled a little bit, mostly because I guess I'm not building military, even though I started a war over getting 1 builder. All right, so it's the Helen of Troy builder. Okay, so turn 47, we'll pick up here shortly. We're on turn 53 here, and what I did is I finished out mysticism so I could get the extra envoy because I want to bring Akkad into the war here. So we're going to go ahead and do that. And that's actually going to give me a second hero, which is a very good aggressive hero, but it will take a little bit longer to build because we've already had 1 hero built. I haven't figured out if it scales up on heroes built or age. I think it might be both. But Akkad's army is a little bit far back here, but they should provide a little bit of pressure from the other side there, hopefully. And that is where we are at on turn 53. It's turn 57. We finally overwhelmed to call. Finally actually got a couple extra. It's been a real dry spell on the Mayan Twins there, but managed to pick up this chariot archer unit and another warrior during the fight, which helped that push there. So you can see the military front isn't being extremely successful. They actually have a higher military than me, but are losing due to my superior awesome tactics. And by superior awesome tactics, I mean completely failed aggression here. I did take this city, but I consider this to be a pretty failed military incursion here. So that's where we are on turn 57. We'll pick up here shortly. We're on turn 60. So I saw this as a question on Reddit, and I never went back to see what the answer was. So we're about to find out if you can take unique units with the Mayan Twins here. So I think this should be enough to kill this unit. And yes, verified. That can be done. So that's where we are on turn 60, and we are running out of time on the Mayan Twins here. The calendar is running out for them. Oh, ironically, I didn't even realize that I am attacking the Mayans with the Mayan Twins. Oh well. Turn 60, we'll pick up in a bit. So unfortunately, I lost loyalty on the one city, and I'm getting offered some cash here, and I think I'm going to take the peace deal. I just wasn't able to press the advantage quickly enough here, so I'm gonna go ahead and accept the deal here. And yeah, so that's unfortunate. So I mean, they don't have walls up yet, so I could have probably kept pressing, but I had a pretty minimal military at this point, and so it looks like they're going to get this one back via loyalty, which is sort of irritating. Unless I could actually, that might be one of the reasons to have entreated for peace there, is that I might have time to get this city back before it switches over. So we will see in a moment. We are on turn 82. This run's not going as great as I had planned, but this was mainly just to show you this amazing starting area and provide the viewers with a seed on how to get this map pulled up, and love to hear anything from you folks about how you're doing if you gave it a try.